7 seasons in, and we are finally beginning our European tour. Welcome to Rupel Boom or Bust. Hello everybody and welcome back to Football Manager 2021 with Rupel Boom in Europa League 2. We finally made it into Europe. It's still not the Europe that we really wanted, but it's European competition nonetheless. Before we get into the video, if you are enjoying this episode series and all that good fun YouTubey stuff, do remember hit the subscribe button and ding the notification bell so you can get all the videos popping up in your subscription feed whenever they get released. Now then, let's talk about some transfers before we talk about who we're playing in today's episode. It's not as easy as I'd hoped. Now, we've got to the point in the save where there's no point in really keeping things quiet as to who we've signed, because everybody is a new gen, so you don't really know who they are anyway. Speaking of players who we've signed, yes, you can see Eden Hazard's name there. We have signed him on a permanent deal, but not because I want him to be playing first team football. I actually kind of want him as like a mentor to some of the younger players. And also, I was given a very good kind of, not a hint, but sort of somebody reminded me that he used to play for Chelsea, and possibly one of his former teammates is a certain Romelu Lukaku, who also used to play for Chelsea. And they're both Belgian internationals, and they're probably good friends together, aren't they? So we might try and use Eden Hazard to try and convince Romelu Lukaku to come back to Boom. Also, leaving the club then, Batista Meyer, the big name to go, £4.6 million after various fees, because basically, I don't think he was as good as we were hoping him to be, and that's not a terrible amount of money. Monsma, Heymans, Cole Pownley, Silla, June, Arab and Cools all leaving the club on permanent deals for various fees there, and then a whole bunch of loan deals as well. Johnson, Brew, Verlinden, Deport, Ferreira, Christiansen, Fabio Bernard, Idrissa Asamoah, Gildo, Manturana, that guy, that's a confusing name. Sepulveda, we'll come to him in a minute because he's a new signing. Ubani and Hunter all going out on loan deals. So then, let's look at Eden Hazard. Yes, he's 35 years old. He is losing pretty much every form of physical ability that he ever had, apart from balance and natural fitness. But yeah, everything else is just declining fairly quickly. But he is still a good player to have around the squad because, like I said, I can use him to mentor the youngsters. He's getting paid 10 grand a week. Probably about 4 or 5 grand too much money, but he's Eden Hazard. He's got 155 caps for Belgium. Charlie Patino is next up, formerly of Arsenal and Minnesota. And I'm pretty sure I mentioned a couple of episodes ago that the MLS is broken. He left Arsenal for some money, and then about a month later, he didn't get registered in the Minnesota squad, so he just got released on a free. So we picked him up on a free. He's joined now, permanent deal, £8,000 a week, £3.7 million for the 22-year-old English central midfielder. I think we've got ourselves a good player. Didier Montero is next up, a 20-year-old Colombian winger and striker, and I think he just looks something special. He kind of, basically we went through a little phase of scouting a lot of sort of the MLS and things like that. He was one of those players that I found, he was at Vancouver Whitecaps apparently last season. So yeah, he was kind of, I don't know whether he was one of those that was signed and then released because he played 14 games. But yeah, Montero actually, he's very good, isn't he? He's got some very good technical and physical attributes. Mentally, I'd say he needs a bit of work. 20 determination is great, but everything else is, let's say, below average. But hopefully we can get the best out of him. Our most expensive signing over the summer is Alvaro Sepulveda, who's gone out on loan to France. And part of that reason is because he's not Belgian, and we don't really have the place in our squad at the moment to have another non-Belgian player. We've also got quite a few central defenders. So Sepulveda has gone out on loan, but I think he's good. I certainly think there is a future. Only 19 years old Chilean central defender. He cost 1.7, I think it was. Yeah, from Colo Colo. Very good team, by the way, in Chile if you want to go steal some youngsters. We have strengthened our right-back position as well with Jose Luis, who is a 21-year-old Brazilian, signed from his team in Vila Francesca, maybe, in Portugal, £625,000. Arguably, we didn't need him because we have Dehaney, but when Dehaney gets injured or is unable to play for whatever reason, suspensions, things like that, we didn't have a backup. Jose Luis, I think, is a very good backup. Also, he can play on the left if we need him, and he's really bloody fast. For £200,000, we have brought in an Ivorian central defender who actually has a cap to his name as well. Yuri Gnehi, maybe, has signed from ASEC Mimosas, one of the best teams to sign decent young Ivorians from. He is apparently a fullback. He's not, he's a centre-back. He is only 5'11", but I'm hoping that's not too much of a problem. I like defenders who are basically taller than 6 foot, so he's on the smaller side for centre-backs, but I think there's a lot to come from Yuri in the future. I'm not sure whether he's going to play a huge amount this season, maybe loan him out if somebody wants him, but he might be coming off the bench a few times. And the final player to join the club is Matty Stedman, a versatile Australian. He can play as a centre-back, a right-back, a central midfielder, or a striker. You take your pick where you want to play him. I personally think he's a more of a central midfielder, although arguably at 6'4", with 12 tackling, which actually isn't terrible, maybe he's a centre-back. Maybe we train him to be a centre-back. We don't need another centre-back. But yeah, Matty Stedman's in. Free transfer. I think he's a good player. Got from Central Coast Mariners, apparently. So yeah, that is the transfer business for the season so far. I think we still have the window open, but I'm not really sure whether we're going to do a huge amount of business. I don't want to keep spending money because basically last year we kind of hemorrhaged a lot of money. We brought a lot of money in, and then we lost a lot of it through wages and player signings and all sorts of stuff like that. So I don't really want to do too much of that this season. Right, Europa League 2. We are off to Sweden. We are playing IFK Norrköping in the Europa Conference League playoff. Now, if we get past IFK Norrköping, we then have to play Lazio. Lazio. I was there, genuinely, if we look at all the teams who we could possibly play, there is some garbage in here. Absolute garbage. And then we get a reasonable side from Norrköping, from Sweden, that's where they're from. And then we have to play Lazio if we get past them. Could we not have played Stjarnan, or, I don't know, Nefti Baku, or Iskra, someone like that? No, we get someone from Sweden. Anyway, we're going to play that now. Our first ever European football match then is about to take place in Sweden. This is what we're going to go for the starting 11. And it's not too dissimilar to what we played last season. So Torres is our number one goalkeeper. Dehaney, Gabia, Sio and Antwi at the back. La Rosa will be in the middle with Charlie Patino. It's going to be Shema and Perez on the wings. Faye and Bakayoko as our strikers. So basically the only real changes here, Patino obviously comes in and Perez has returned from his loan deal. I don't really know why I loaned him out last season anyway, but yeah, he's back. He's going to be on the left-hand side. Dudu Sharper is on the bench, obviously played a lot last season, but I think Perez is arguably a better footballer, and I think Perez might be Belgian, or am I just making that up? I'm just making that up. I don't think I mentioned this before, but we're going to be playing both the home and away legs in this episode, which is why I've tried to fly through the transfers as quick as possible and jump straight into the game. Another thing that we have done over the summer, which again, forgot to mention completely, is I have sorted out my backroom staff. We still had a lot of staff, our assistant manager as well, who basically were at the club at the start of the game. We've basically just emptied out the staff room and filled it back up with a bunch of other people. We are 25 minutes into our European journey, and so far, not a single highlight to speak of. 10 minutes left of the first half, and we finally got something. Perez with the ball back to Clinton Antwi. Back once again. Patino to Perez, dinks it into Bakayoko. Facing away from goal, and oh my word, Perez almost put that in. Faye keeps this in play, which is good. Crosses that in. It's La Rosa, but it's blocked by a defender and cleared. So the first chances on camera go our way. Arguably it looks like we are keeping Norrköping completely quiet. I don't also know whether that's how it's pronounced, but that's what I'm going to say. Half time then, 0-0. Not the most exciting game of football, but I think we are good enough to get something out of this. Shema's on a 6.3. What is he doing or not doing? I'm wondering whether because they are playing 3 central defenders, we're struggling with our formation. We always seem to play against 4 defenders, where they're playing 3 and wing backs. That might be an issue. Antwi with it in the area, kicks it straight into a man's face. Antwi gets it back to Charlie Patino, crosses in, Bakayoko's there. It's Perez to Patino, crosses it in again. Faye facing away from goal, and Belanda makes a decent enough save to hold on to the ball. We're getting close, but not close enough. I would like an away goal. Right, Shema's night's done. He's done literally nothing. He's on a 6.2. It is going to be Montero coming on that right-hand side. So the first opportunity we get to see the Colombian. I don't know whether he's going to be any good or not. He looks good. He looks good in terms of The way I pick players and sign players is based on their shape more than attributes, and he's got a very good shape. Patino doesn't get the ball, but Faye has this. Back to Elioma La Rosa, dinks it over to Perez on the volley. It's a wonderful save from Balanda, and it is going to be a corner. We are getting so close to scoring our first ever European goal. Clinton Antwi steps up to take this corner. It's towards the front, but a header clear. Montero, keep this highlight alive, my friend. Going away from goal. Cuts back towards goal this time. He's going to run all the way. Please do. He's going to keep going. Montero has lost the ball, and the ball is cleared upfield, and the highlight does end. Final 15 minutes. Goal kick is headed forward, though, by Antwi, but no one's closing that down. Perez is eventually waken up, but Norrköping looking to finally do something. It's taken them all game. Levi gets past one challenge. Perez has got in the way of that, more by luck than judgment. Patino dinks it over the top. Bakayoko, is he going to get there first? We've scored a slide tackle. We've scored our first ever European goal, and it's a bloody slide tackle. I mean, you were expecting something magical. I was expecting something magical. And it's just a misplaced, pass, I guess. Or not even misplaced pass. Just a poor touch from the defender. Straight into Bakayoko. And, it's 1-0. Norrköping have a throw in a very good position. But we're going to do a couple of changes. We're going to do Piazza coming on. And I'm also thinking Stedman. Or do we... No, we'll do Yuri. Yuri can come on as well for Gabbia. Gabbia's not doing too well. They haven't taken the throw yet. So maybe our subs are going to happen first. Are they? No, they're not. Throw comes in. La Rosa heads that ball clear. Now Montero is going to get there first. And now it's 3v3. Didier Montero gets past one. Keeps going off to that right-hand side. I think Bakayoko's there with him. He tried to chip him. He tried to chip it over the keeper. It was never going to go in. Final few minutes of the game. Antwi with a free kick and an injury, apparently. Piazza doesn't manage to get there. Bakayoko is chasing down Castagren. It's Williams now on that left-hand side in the middle. What a ball that is. Nyman can't miss. It's 1-1. What have we done there? Is that down to the fact that Antwi's injured? Because Antwi should have been marking Nyman and just probably couldn't get back in time. Final couple of minutes to play then. It's going to be a 1-1 draw. And we were the better side. We should have won the game. We really should have won the game. I'm assuming injuries were the problem. 20 shots to their 5. 8 on target to their 3. We should have scored more than one goal. Unlucky, I think is what we'll say. Not you were good, we'll just say unlucky. Right, we've now got to go forward to play Norrköping again in a couple of days' time. We have actually played our opening league game against Charleroi, which we won 2-0. Schemmer and Perez were the goals. We're going to play Westerlo as well in between the Norrköping matches. We'll come back the other side of that. Hopefully, we're going to be doing alright. We're second at the moment, but it doesn't really matter because we're literally one game in. Match number 2 then against Norrköping, this time at home. We have played our game against Westerlo in between. We won 4-1, so far this season we've got 6 points out of a possible 6 in the league. We'll talk about that after we hopefully get through to the next UEFA Europa Conference League qualifying round, which will be against Lazio, which isn't going to be easy. Starting 11 then, Torres, Dehaney, Gabbia, Sio and Antwi, who returns from a minor injury. La Rosa and Patino in the middle. Schemmer and Piazza today will be the wingers with Faye and Bakayoko as our strikers. Let's go and hopefully have a much better performance than what we did in the first leg. Or maybe let's just score some of the chances that we didn't in the first leg. You'll probably notice that on the bench for this match, Andrezinho is there. He is still at the club. I kind of came to my senses and decided not to sell him, even though it was kind of his fault, in my opinion, why we had to go through the qualifying or the weird playoff final thing in the last episode. We've got 10 minutes on the clock and the first highlight of the game. A header back from Bakayoko to Charlie Patino. Piazza on the left-hand side takes a touch but can't get past the Norrköping defenders. Abdul Razak gets tackled by Patino and now Faye has this ball. Crosses it in. Did he kick that into himself? I don't think he did. Schemmer keeps this in play. Hopefully he has a much better game today. La Rosa takes a touch, blasts it into the bar and it goes over. Antwi with a throw towards Bakayoko. Back to Clinton Antwi. Across to Patino. There's a goal happening soon. Faye with a headed effort. Has that hit the bar as well? Or was that saved? La Rosa still has a chance to keep this alive. Number 7 goes back to Matteo Gabbia. Now the former Arsenal man Charlie Patino finds Dehaney on that right-hand side. Still plenty of blue shirts in the middle. La Rosa has this. Dehaney again. Poor touch. Still has this ball though. Crosses it in. Back post is nobody. The ball is going to get cleared. And it's probably going to end the highlight, isn't it? Dehaney's stolen it back. And yes, the highlight does end. So far, our first ever European match at our stadium is not really producing too much like our first ever European match. didn't really produce a huge amount either. We are 10 minutes away from half-time. It's still 0-0. Not a lot to really talk about. Antwi's throw to Charlie Patino over on towards the left-hand side to nobody. Why are we trying to pass it to nobody? I'm not sure what's going on there. And now Norrköping have the ball, but we are putting the pressure on. Hopefully trying to force a mistake. Belander has this in his own penalty area. Does play it towards the fullbacks. Norrköping just slowly trying to break their way through, and it's looking like it might be working, you know? Yays, maybe. Yazy, possibly. Who knows? It's all the way across. Right-hand side, it's Abdul Razak. Antwi's there with him. Crosses in. Clear it, please. Gabia does. Now, counter-attack. Shema dinks the head down. Bakioko's awake enough to pick that one up, and what a ball that is. It's Mohamed Faye. It's another great save from the keeper. We should be 1-0 up. We've had a couple of very good chances. Not managed to find the back of the net just yet. Shema's corner left-footed towards the front post. The header clear from Norrköping, and that's probably going to end the highlight. Still not quite at half-time. It's suddenly kicked into gear in terms of highlights. La Rosa crosses in. Piazza is there. He's hit the bar. The ball is cleared. Patino back to La Rosa. Chance is still alive. Bakayoko. La Rosa again. Hits a defender. Ball is cleared. Just end the highlight. Keep the highlight going. End the highlight. Something. I don't know. What are we looking for here? Bakayoko slots the through ball into Antwi. Tries to cross it. Can't manage it. Goes back to Patino. It's a strange highlight at the moment. We've hit the bar early on in this highlight, and it's still going on. So there's another chance happening. La Rosa, long-range effort this time, just skims past the post. Still 0-0. I think we've hit the woodwork maybe 3 or 4 times. Shema's corner comes in. Front post is Gabia, and the Italian heads just over the bar. Still 0-0. We're getting very close to scoring, apart from that one key thing of, you know, scoring the goal. It is 0-0. We've hit the woodwork twice so far, apparently, at half-time. Let's not do it a couple more times. Right, are we going to do any changes? I think we might. So one thing I did do, you've probably spotted it, is I put in a pressing forward rather than an attacking forward, advanced forward, sorry. We're going to go back to the advanced forward because maybe that's the problem. I'm not happy because we're not doing very well. We're not scoring goals. If it does stay this way, we actually do go through on away goals, I think. So it's not the end of the world if it's a 0-0 draw. It's just not the most exciting way to break into European football. Gabia to Seo, the South Korean and Brazilian. On the left is Piazza. Is he going to go backwards? He's gone across instead to La Rosa. Now Faye facing away from goal. La Rosa once again. Piazza and La Rosa passing between them. Shema. It's a great run from Dehaney. Doesn't use him. Instead goes for a long-range effort. La Rosa's effort once again not on target. Right, 10 minutes into the second half. We're going to give him a fire up. See if it works. It doesn't. It's not worked at all. Everyone now looks a little bit more unhappy and annoyed. There is a throw about to take place. We are going to do Perez for Piazza because Perez isn't really doing a huge amount on that left-hand side. Sorry, Piazza isn't doing a huge amount on that left-hand side. Patino's nicked that away. Good to see from the young Englishman. Plays it through to Bakayoko. Needs a bit of support in the shape of Faye, or is he going to go it alone? Of course he was going to go it alone. Straight into the hands of the keeper. Still 0-0. We've literally just won a game 4-1. And now we can't seem to score a goal to save our lives. We've got 10 minutes left to play. Let's do ourselves another couple of changes. Faye off for Andrezinho. Montero's coming on as well for Shema. It's all of the changes. Andrezinho as a striker, I'm still not sold on. Andrezinho as a person, I'm not sold on, to be honest, because he still annoyed me with that red card. Well, it's looking like it's going to be 0-0. And if it is 0-0... I'm not looking forward to the Lazio game because they're a much better side than Norrköping are. La Rosa gets that ball upfield. Andrezinho controls this on the halfway line. Kicks it straight into a Norrköping man. Dehaney to Montero. On the right. Is he going to run? Cuts inside. Go on, buddy. Do all your dribbling. Montero to La Rosa. Across to Agustin Perez. Needs a runner. Plays it through to Bakayoko. Lovely touch from Bakayoko. And there is the goal that we have been searching for 93 minutes. We have finally put the ball in the back of the net. It's 1-0, 2-1 on aggregate. It's looking possibly like we might be going through. We are going through then. Lazio are our next opponents. Let's learn how to score goals, shall we? Because so far, we probably should have put 5 or 6 past Norrköping across these 2 games. We put 2 past, and one of them was a slide tackle. So there is confirmation that we are through to the next round. £82,000 for that. If we can get past Lazio, and it's a very big if, that's the end of it. That suddenly then becomes this is the final qualifying round. If we get past Lazio, we will be into the group stages proper, which I don't know. Is it a good thing? Is it honestly a good thing? What am I doing? I want to go Come on, there we go. I want to go here and... can we even find it? Rules. So, we are at that point. Yes, so we'll go into the group stage proper, which, I mean, I kind of fancy our chances. If we get to this point, I fancy our chances getting out of the group stages, but Lazio is going to be a tough opponent to play. Interestingly, the Hanover boss, Daniel Farker, or current Norwich boss, I think, was watching Sio and Shema, who he wants to sign. Does he actually want to sign them? He is interested. Hanover do want Sio. He's getting good, isn't he? And I'm assuming they're also on this wanted list here as well, along with Nottingham Forest for Shema. This is something to think about, because Shema is a very hot and cold player. Right, well, that's going to do it for this episode. Next episode is going to be more Europa Conference League action, I think. So it's going to be both the Lazio games. We're going to play Club Brugge in between. We're going to play some garbage in the Croquet Cup 5th round and Beerschot as well in between. So, yeah, there's going to be quite a lot of football to discuss in the next episode. I think the transfer window is still open as well. I don't know whether we can actually tell. I mean, this is how I normally tell. Yes, so it closes on the 1st. So, next episode will be Lazio and the January transfer window. It's the summer. That's not January. It's almost January in real life. Well then, we are through to the next qualifying round of the Europa Conference League. We are currently sat top of the Jupiler Pro League, but we're only 2 games in, and we literally haven't even seen any of those on camera, but things have started reasonably well. Thank you very much for watching episode 1. If you did enjoy, do please remember, hit the like button, subscribe button, all the comments, and all the YouTube-y fun stuff that you can do as well. Do all that stuff, and I'll see you in the next episode, where we're going to be probably losing to Lazio. Thanks for watching.